Imagine that you are an adult woman ages 18 to 24. You're put in a room with 6 other adult women, including yourself, ages 18 to 24. Now you may ask yourself, why are we all put in this room as we are adult women ages 18 to 24? Well, that's because one of you will have experienced sexual assault within your lifetime before the age of 18. Now, on a much wider scale, this statistic is applicable to the entirety of American adult women. 1 in 6 of every American adult woman will have experienced sexual assault in their lifetime. Now, this is because the sexualization of women and rape culture has become so normalized in our society, and women are often not believed, and young boys are not taught about consent and coercion and how to make sure that they don't become someone who is a sexual assaulter. Now, this is taught at a young age, and you have to take away everything you learn from the media. This includes making jokes about people who are sexually assaulted in movies, making jokes about male sexual assault survivors, and saying that they should enjoy it because they're being sexually assaulted by a woman. You can see this in many forms of media, Wedding Crashers, even Glee. Now, this is so normalized, and these statistics are so crazy that this is a situation that needs to be addressed. Now, I am suggesting offering rape culture studies and education on how to protect yourself and what rape culture is in sex ed before children go to college, which is the time in their life they are most likely to be sexually assaulted. So we'll start with some statistics. Ages 18 to 24 are the most likely to be sexually assaulted. RAINN statistics in 2020 said that 54% of people within the ages of 18 to 24 will experience sexual assault. Now, this gets even more crazy when you take more minorities and more disenfranchised people into the equation. Trans people are 21% more likely to be sexually assaulted than cis people, and women who are sexually assaulted are 94% susceptible to PTSD, and 33% of those women often contemplate suicide after the fact. These statistics speak for themselves and shows that this is a serious issue in our society and that it is much more likely to happen to you than you may think. This actually is more statistically likely to happen to one of your immediate family members, one of your close friends, and they might not even know it because of how normalized it is. Next thing we're going to be talking about is rape culture. Now, the 11th principle consent in 2020 tells us about the rape culture pyramid. Now, this includes at the bottom of the pyramid are rape jokes, locker room talk, and the top of the pyramid is actual rape. Now, this is important, and I think that this should be taught in schools because it shows that young women, you should not feel comfortable around people who are comfortable making rape jokes, because they are, according to the 11th principle of consent of 2020, are 22% more likely to commit acts of sexual assault if they feel comfortable making sexual assault jokes or rape jokes. Teaching women at a young age to avoid people like this, and teaching boys at a young age that sexual assault in this climate is not something to joke about, is essential to keeping everyone safe. Now, this isn't just a woman's issue. Rape culture also affects men. Men are not believed when they are told about their sexual assault experiences and are often not taken seriously because as a man you are expected to enjoy any type of sex. So this is not just a woman's issue. This is a man's issue as well. So now we're going to think about this. Imagine you have a daughter and she just turned 18 and she's going to college. She's so excited to go to college. And she gets a boyfriend, her first boyfriend. She's so in love. And he really wants to have sex. She does not feel comfortable with this, but he pushes her and he pushes her and he pushes her. And she finally decides to give in because she thinks that it will get him off his back. Now, imagine your daughter going through this, being forced to have sex just to get her boyfriend off her back, and feeling afraid to talk to anyone. But over time, she gets more uncomfortable with the situation. She feels more upset about what happened, and it starts to feel not normal. She goes to report this as a coercion rape, and she's not believed or not taken seriously because it was her boyfriend who was the one who coerced her. This is very common in many cases court cases where the person was sexually assaulted by their lover is often dismissed, and we need to be teaching kids at a young age in school that marriage relationships do not equal consent, and you are allowed to say no to your partner. This includes teaching this to young men about coercion, how coercion is an act of rape, and annoying someone just to have sex with you is considered sexual assault. Now, Michael Graff in The Triangle, published in 2019, talks about how rape culture is significant in college campuses. Frat houses often are the cause of this. They take drunk girls in and they sexually assault them. And this is considered okay because the girl was inebriated, intoxicated, taking drugs. This is so common in college households, and it needs to be taught at a young age how to keep yourself safe from being sexually assaulted as a woman if you decide to go to a party, and teach men that a woman is not allowed to consent if she is intoxicated. All of this put together shows that we are in a serious crisis of rape in America. And if you are not into the issue or you don't think it's important, I ask you just to imagine yourself having a daughter being forced into sexual acts and then not being believed in a court case, or not thinking that she would be taken seriously, so she never talks about it. Now, the idea of rape culture and its normalization needs to be taught in sex ed, I suggest in high school, before young people go to college, which college is the most likely to be sexually assaulted. If you're taught that in high school at a young age, ages 14 to 15, when people tend to start becoming more sexual, and we can ingrain it in people's mind about coercion, about keeping yourself safe, about the rules of consent, then hopefully we can get that 1 out of every 6 American adult women statistic to 0 of every adult woman in America.